Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be reading another article, possibly two, depending on how long you take, of this paper, which is The Light Truth Paper, or The Light A Truth Paper. This is the November 2020 edition. The website where you can get this paper is there, www.thelightpaper.co.uk. You can access it free on the website. You can download PDFs, I believe, or you can pay £5 as a subscription and have it delivered to your door or whatever address you would like. And this paper is created and written by alternative journalists with an alternative point of view, and it's about UK politics and issues. Before I go, please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button, and of course please like the video. Okay, so today's article I'm going to read first of all is entitled Liverpool Gyms Resist Lockdown, and this is written by Stefano Judge. There you go. Okay, so here we go. Despite armed police visits, levies of fines, and a lack of support from the city region's leadership, several gym owners in Merseyside have managed to resist rules which would have seen them close under Tier 3 restrictions imposed by the government. Showing the true spirit of people power, on the 12th of October 2020, Nick Whitcomb stood outside his business, Body Tech Fitness on the Wirral, and recorded the following message. Boris has announced in the last 60 minutes that all gyms and leisure centres across Merseyside are to close from Wednesday this week. We will not be closing our doors. End quote. Nick's closest neighbours, Thea Holden and Chris Ellaby Hemmings, co-owners of Empowered Fit, also stood their ground. Their collective message was simple. We are keeping our gyms open for our members' physical and mental well-being and not for financial gain. End quote. 3 days later, in a video that went viral on social media, armed police officers turned up at Body Tech Fitness and issued Nick with a £1,000 fine. Thea and Chris were also fined. In a show of solidarity and defiance, 75% of gyms across the whole of Merseyside refused to close their doors to members. A GoFundMe page set up to help pay fines received more than £50,000 in donations from across the country, which they have said will be donated to mental health charities. Despite the support, a telephone call left open in a meeting revealed that a select few members from Wirral Borough Council Environmental Health intended to sabotage the gym owners because they said, "This is embarrassing us." Nick said, "They're trying to demonise my character. This is corruption at its finest." Days later, Lancashire, then Manchester, were put on stricter lockdown measures, but gyms in those areas were allowed to remain open. Liverpool Mayor Joe Anderson took to Twitter on the 16th of October and demanded immediate clarification on why Lancashire gyms are allowed to stay open and Liverpool's close, calling the situation an inconsistent mess. A few days later, a post by Thea Holden on Instagram revealed that the government had backed down. It read, we decided together we wouldn't close and we would stand side by side throughout the battle. We had a plan-ish, and we ran with it, and it worked. It doesn't seem real that we won. While having 3 to 5 police visits a day and running a business has been insane, but so worth it. 3 wins. Gyms removed from Tier 3 across the nation. Liverpool region gyms legally reopen. and industry united, which only helps our mission of helping people. Okay, and that's the end of the article. Okay, so we're going to be going about 5 minutes, so I'll read another one. And by the way, I have permission from the producers of this paper to create these videos. Okay, so another article on page 2 is entitled "Several MPs Resign Front Bench Positions," and this was written by Darren Smith. Chris Green, MP for Bolton West, Margaret Greenwood, and several Labour front bench MPs have all resigned their positions over government legislation and policies in the last weeks. Chris Green resigns as Parliamentary Private Secretary, writing in his resignation letter, "The Greater Manchester local lockdown and the more extreme economic lockdowns have both failed to control the number of positive tests within the borough of Bolton, which has inexorably risen. During the lockdown, Bolton has seen 20,000 fewer GP referrals to hospital when compared to last year, while many others have not accessed vital treatment because they have been too frightened to do so. By taking our current approach to COVID-19, we are creating many other health problems that are leading to pain, suffering and death. The closure of pubs, restaurants and cafes, combined with the reduction of footfall on our high streets, has brought many family-owned businesses in my constituency to the brink of collapse and pushed others over the edge. While many employees and businesses have received substantial support, a great many business owners have received nothing and will continue to receive no support. The damage done to physical and mental health, as well as to livelihoods and businesses, would be justified if the threat from COVID-19 was as first suggested. I know that this novel pandemic virus posed a serious but little understood threat, but we have learnt so much since it first emerged. I now believe that the attempted cure is worse than the disease, and that the second 6-month phase will not see the delivery of a solution via mass vaccination. The government will then begin its next phase of control." End quote. The Labour MPs resigned the failure to oppose the Chris bill. Let me say that again. The Labour MPs resigned the failure to oppose the CHIS bill, that's CHIS, that will legalise criminal acts by intelligence sources, and Keir Starmer's instruction to abstain in a Commons vote on it. The bill has been criticised over concerns it breaches human rights by allowing undercover agents to commit criminal offences and have immunity from prosecution. The legislation does not provide for a ban on children being used as agents, or torture or murder in the line of work, and they argued it did not explicitly rule out crimes such as murder, torture or serious sexual offences. So I think that last paragraph, what it's saying is the Labour MPs that resigned over this bill. Okay, and I think we've got time to read the third article on this page, which is entitled "Greville Janner Allowed to Stay Free." And this was written by Adrian Trofton and Tom Mack. In yet more evidence of the cover-up of establishment child rapists, a retired Leicestershire police detective said the veteran Leicester politician Greville Janner was given preferential treatment, an official inquiry heard. The officer provided evidence of his involvement in a Leicestershire police investigation into historical allegations concerning Lord Janner. He gave evidence at the independent inquiry into child sexual abuse, which is called IICSA, today on its investigation into whether Lord Janner received preferential treatment by police and other public bodies because of his social standing. The officer stated that during the course of the investigation, a senior officer instructed him not to arrest Lord Janner because he was an MP. The officer explained that he had believed that there was sufficient evidence to provide grounds for an arrest, and that he had been very disappointed by this decision. He suggested that if he had been arresting a man off the street, he would have had plenty of evidence and wouldn't have hesitated, but was told not to in this case. When asked to reflect on the decision not to arrest Lord Janner, he confirmed that it was his view that Lord Janner had been given preferential treatment. The officer was also asked about his views on the case and how they developed during the police inquiry, with reference to the documents that he created at the time. Child abuse allegations against Janner were also kept from a Crown prosecutor involved in considering whether to prosecute other suspects. One of the witnesses given evidence on Friday was a former principal Crown prosecutor and special casework lawyer of the Crown Prosecution Service, who was involved in both the 2002 and 2007 investigations, which looked at various suspects. The witness, who has not been identified, said that despite being the reviewing lawyer for Operation Magnolia, which was active between 2000 and 2002, none of the statements alleging abuse by Lord Janner had been brought to his attention. It was only during Operation Dauntless, about 5 years later, that the allegations against the member of the House of Lords came up. He said that if the statements had been brought to his attention in 2002, the case would have taken a totally different course. The witness repeated that he was not told of any allegations against Lord Janner, even as an aside. He said it simply never happened. The inquiry has also heard that the final police inquiry into sexual abuse allegations against Lord Janner cost around £400,000 and was on a scale comparable to a major murder investigation. The independent inquiry into child sexual abuse is investigating how public bodies handled the allegations against Lord Janner, who is said to have committed acts of abuse in children's homes, schools, a flat in London, and in Parliament itself. Lord Janner was accused of multiple sexual offences against boys between 1963 and 1988, but died shortly before Christmas 2015. He had been suffering from dementia. Following Lord Janner's death, an official report by a retired High Court judge concluded that 3 chances in 1991, 2002 and 2007 to put the former Leicester West MP on trial were missed because of mistakes by the police or prosecutors. His family insists he is innocent of all allegations. The hearing, parts of which are taking place in private session to protect alleged victims' names, is continuing and expected to be completed early November. Okay, and I think we'll leave it there. So that's page 2 done. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back soon to read more. Thank you very much for listening. Good night.